You come to know and realize God's love was meant for you and me. Give him the honor, and your life will be great. Give him the honor, but don't you be too late. Give him the honor, don't you be ashamed. Give him the honor, lift up his holy. On a Saturday evening inside the Atlanta area. Pastor Rob here. This is Jamaican Explosion, and the background sounds of Mr. Colin Roach. I got quite a show planned for you this evening. The stick and stay, don't you touch that dial as we get started here on a Saturday evening. This is once again a Jamaican Explosion, and we got quite a show. Quite a show. This evening we have coming up pretty soon. Dr. Claire Nelson, PhD, along with later on today, Mr. Andel G. Green. He will be stopping him here, and we're going to be speaking to him on the strength to breathe this evening. A lot of things happening in around the Atlanta area coming up in the next couple of weeks. I'm glad you could join us right here at the Jamaican Explosion. And of course, I got for you today none other than our guest artist coming up a little later in the show this evening, Mr. Colin Roach. And I want you to check him out as he brings to you some of the greatest sounds, some of the great sounds are from around the Atlanta area going out to the world this evening. Pastor Rob here on a Saturday evening. And how are you doing? Are you doing? We're just doing great here. And the weather has changed a little bit here in the Atlanta. Well, maybe not a little bit, but quite a bit here in the Atlanta area. And of course, it seems like springtime has arrived here already. I'm not going to count on it. I'm not going to call it just quite yet, but whatever is going on outside feels good. It feels good this evening. So once again, this is Jamaican Explosion, and it's our pleasure to be here with you today. And okay, so let's get some stuff started here, just for your listening pleasure. We want to get some stuff started here for you, and do remember coming up in 2 weeks, just about 2 weeks, we're going to have for you the Atlanta Jamaican Caribbean Awards. And that's going to be something that a program or a show that you do not want to miss. And as we get started this morning, let me introduce to you none other than co-host, none other than the great Miss Nadine Dixon. Here. How you doing today, Nadine?
I am good. I am good. I can feel the change in the temperature, the change in
Mm.
the weather. And I'm looking forward to spring so I can go plant my stuff in my garden.
And what kind of stuff that are you getting ready to plant in that garden of yours, Nadine?
I usually do cucumbers, I do peppers, I do tomatoes, a different type of tomatoes.
Hmm.
So that's my next passion. So I do love to get out and play outside.
Okay, all right, very good. So the weather has changed, and is there anything else happening around the Atlanta area that you know of that you could fill us in on? Well, I know the Mapleton thing. Though that's way down the
Yeah,
line.
that's
No.
all the way in April. I know this is the last Saturday in the month of February. So there are
Mhm.
different cities that are still celebrating Black History Month. Some of them, the activities are probably over by now. But
Mhm.
if there's stuff in your city, hopefully you are able to get out and participate and just be more culturally aware.
Okay, all right. So we just want to be more culturally aware, and of course, the big talk around town is in 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks, is the Atlanta Caribbean Community Awards, and we're looking forward to that one. That one. Okay, go ahead.
Now, I was saying definitely, 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 and looking forward to the after party that starts at 10 p.m.
Okay, she's looking forward to the after party, but what about the regular show? Huh?
I
You
have
gotta
to
have
talk about my favorite part, Pastor Rob. Definitely, the show is gonna have the award and recognizing persons from the different diaspora in who are Caribbean descent, and just recognizing them and their talent and achievements.
Okay, all right. And of course, that's going to be taking place on March the 9th at the front page, okay, 8010 Rockbridge Road. And we want to invite everyone to come on down and check it out. Come for the party, and then I'd say stay for the after party. You know, we want everybody to come for the party, and then you could stay for the after party, okay. And also, we have coming up with us later on today in the show, Mr. Roach, and he's going to be here. And if you ever never heard of Professor Roach before, we're going to treat you to Mr. Professor Roach today, and he's coming up in a couple of minutes. Well, maybe in about 20 minutes or so. And I'm looking forward to having him, veteran singer from way back from the in the early 90s and so forth like that. And he's going to be joining us here later on today. Also on the show, we will be having this evening Mr. Andel G. Green, and he's going to be speaking on the strength of breed. And this evening, we're concentrating on the men. Aha. Okay, so we got some things to say to the men this evening. So we're hoping that you will definitely tune in, men. If you ladies, if you have your husbands and you got your boyfriends and so forth like that, uh, coming on, just have them come on and join us. And if they need to learn some things about just men and how men interact and all kind of stuff. So Mr. Mr. Andel Green is going to be Mr. Andel Green will be coming on at that time. Okay. What about our other guest, Miss Nadine?
Yes, joining us at 5:30 is going to be Dr. Claire Nelson. I am so excited that she was able to fit us in. I know when I spoke to her, she was actually about to head out later on today for another session. She is actually Forbes 50 female futurist. She's a sustainable engineer and innovative consultant. She's a keynote speaker, a storyteller, and I'm just in awe of her many acclimates. And I can't wait for us to join us to tell us a little bit more about how she got started and what's next for her.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and just take the show for a little while. Let me get Mr. Roach on a little bit early so we could get this thing moving here. Okay, it's all.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you all were able to go see the Bob Marley movie. I've been waiting for Pastor Rob to give us his take on it, but he hasn't had a chance to go look at it. So, guess what, guys? I can't wait on him anymore. So, I'm going to spill all the tea right now. So for me, I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was a great movie in terms of I wasn't as familiar with Bob Marley. Yes, I'm from Jamaica, but I wasn't as familiar with some of his struggles and some of the things that he went through because at that time I was very young, so I wasn't aware. So the movie for me brought out a lot more awareness. It also showed for me his strength, his commitment and passion to his culture, to his country, to his family, to his music. And that's what that movie brought out for me. It also brought out Rita as a strong woman and her strength. And I just take my hats off to her as a woman for standing by him and all the things that came against both of them. And I thoroughly enjoyed the movie, and I definitely think you all should go watch it.
All right, all right, all right, all right. So we're gonna take Nadine's critique here. And how about the music? What was the music like, Nadine?
Oh, yes, the music was fantastic. And
Mhm.
I actually went with some family members. One of that person was like, yes, I was at that concert, and how he was just relating how it felt to be in that moment when
Mm.
God was uniting Edward Siaga and Norman Manley to bring unity to Jamaica. And he said the whole environment, everybody was just so in awe of the whole experience. A lot of persons in the audience, they were crying and stuff. So he says the movie was good, but just being there was quite an experience.
All right, all right. So I'm glad that you went and checked it out, and I'm glad that I'm bringing my critique at another time. So we'll make sure that Nadine's critique sinks in first. You know, then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna bring back and give you the real critique.
Right, listen to me. That Rita needs to do a movie now. We need a Rita Martin movie because I'm just saying that just showed what a strong woman she was and she still is. Because even when he passed, just being able to take the realm and make sure that legacy continues, because it could have died with him, that legacy. But
Right.
she took the reins and made sure people recognize and know that name Tough Gang, know that name Bob Marley.
Mm.
So hats off to that beautiful woman. That's all I'll say.
I have to give Ziggy some credit too. You know what I'm saying? Standing by his mother and making sure that his father legacy was put out there, and so we have to give them both. I believe.
Yeah, definitely the whole family. But at the end of the day, they were kids when she had to pick up the reins. So that is why I'm giving her
Oh, okay.
much credit. I'm not saying they didn't contribute. I'm just saying that if they were kids, she had to do more. She had to become the mother and the father. She had to become the entrepreneur to secure their legacy. So I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just giving her her props to making it still existence for them to take over.
Okay, very good, very good. Thanks, Nadine. All right, so I guess a lot of people is going to go out now and check it out. If you've not checked it out, and I know it's playing in several theaters within the different uh, um, counties.
Countries, not just counties,
Yeah,
countries. It's all over the
yeah,
world.
yeah. And we're speaking specifically in the Atlanta area. I know it's here in Lawrenceville, and you're up there in what, Mableton or
I'm in Hiram, close to Mableton, Hiram, Powder Springs, but definitely it's in a lot, almost all the movie theaters. It's
yes.
actually number one in the world, the number one movie in the world. So
Wow, wow, wow. Once again, Jamaicans have done it and we have put out a number one product. So, wow, that's some great things right there. And you're in tune to Jamaican Explosion here on a Saturday evening, going all the way from 5 to 7 p.m. this evening. And guess who we have coming up right here? No other than Mr. Professor Roach. Professor Roach, we're going to bring him to screen in a second, Nadine. And I'm going to tell you
Honor his
this
name
boy
to
could
stay
sing, this
forever
man
be
can
the
sing.
same. Honor his name. Take a look into the book of life. Make sure you read and understand every word that has been carefully tried and has been given unto men. Don't be so blind. Open,
Yes, indeed, Mr.
honor his
Professor
name
Roach.
to stay
Professor
forever be
Roach.
the same.
Yeah.
Honor his
Blessed love, my brother.
name.
welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to Jamaican Explosion, Mr. Professor. Uh, and Mr. Roach. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. Yeah,
I would say highly favored.
highly favored.
Yes, sir. Well, I know you've been around for quite a while, and I know you've been around for quite a while, and we want to welcome you again. And how long you been around? And tell us a little bit about your career.
You said how long I've been living in Georgia, you said?
Yes, how long have you been in the music
Oh,
industry?
I've been in the music business probably 40 something years, man. Yeah, I started at a young age, probably 8, 9. Yeah.
Hmm.
My dad used to send me to my brother and I, why not the Paul, who was another artist.
Hmm.
Yeah, send us to, before we go to school, we had to stop by the music lessons lady. Her name was Aunt Kate. We call her Aunt Kate. Her proper name is Kate Nelson.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so we had to practice piano lessons there, man. And from that, we just continued on. Going to school, especially at the primary school, we actually were both of us were a part of the dance group and the actual choir at the school. And then from there, man, things just took off. Went to high school, formed a band there. Original name was Genesis, but we changed it to,
Yeah.
well, Genesis was the beginning, so to speak. We were the youngest school band ever. It's a history in the Manchester High School. We formed it. We were like second form, third form, and we got one little performance on the annual variety concert that we used to have
Yeah.
there. And once we played that year, man, it took off from there. So we played on the variety concert every year going forward. But ever since the first year, we decided we're going to change it to, Genesis was the beginning, so we're going to change it to another step. So we call it phase 2 of Genesis. So it was phase 2.
No,
I
First,
was expecting Exodus.
no, we never want to leave. We want to stay. So it's phase 2 of the beginning.
see that?
Yeah, so yeah, from that now we played it at every variety concert. We were a renowned school band. We played at other schools as well, performed all over the country,
Hmm.
played at other schools, and more so in Manchester, where we're from. All of the schools in Manchester, people used to come and just enjoy the thing. Yeah, so
Okay, so when did you migrate to the States?
when what?
When did you come here to the States?
I can hardly hear that. I
Pastor
don't.
Rob, you're coming through with an echo.
Yeah,
So you
yeah, I'm
want
not
me to
hearing.
ask him?
What you said, Rob? I'm not hearing you.
No, he's on mute.
Okay,
Okay, when did you come here to the States?
Yeah, Pastor Rob, you're still coming through with an echo.
it's coming in fuzzy. I can't.
All right, let me ask him some questions while you try to resolve that.
Yeah.
So, how did you get that name, or Professor Roach?
It's a long time coming, to be honest, because originally when I was in college, I gave myself the name Daddy Roach, but it lasted for about 3, 4 years. Then I found out that a band in New York went by the name of Daddy Roach, so I couldn't use that name.
Mm-hmm.
And I started emceeing, doing master of ceremonies for big stage shows. So I named myself, I changed it to MC Roach. Uh, then, after a while, that didn't work. So when I came to the United States now, the job I had, I work, but I also taught. I teach, and ever since I've been a younger person, I've always been, lecturing people, so to speak. Trying to help them out. So I said, you know what? Yeah, if I'm a teacher, might as well to make it sound nice. A professor. So I just take on that name, Professor Roach, and that's it.
Okay, and you've
Final answer.
yeah, right, and you've been running with that name ever since, right?
Final answer. Final answer. Yeah.
So I see that you went to the Jamaica School of Music, but you left a little early.
Yeah,
But
my father wanted us to do music, all the years of our lives. But my brother and I went there for the first semester, and man, I look and I see only me and him, and Dean Fraser and some of those guys there, and all my friends went to college, the so-called college, So
right.
I didn't drop out, like failed, I passed, but I decided, man, I want to go where my friends are, So I applied to the College of Arts, Science and Technology class, but it's now called UTech.
Mhm.
And so I went there, but he didn't go there. He just went to work. My brother, why not? But he also went off into the music field because he was a solo artist known by the name of Tony Roach that time. Yeah.
Well, at least you work your way back, right back to what your original beginnings of music. So you dropped out, but you never gave up that part.
Well, I didn't drop out at all.
Well,
When I
I
went,
mean, you left.
no man, when I got to Cast, man, I was a monarch. I was a Jamaican calypso, reggae, and DJ monarch for 3 consecutive years at Cast anyway, as Daddy Roach. So I didn't drop out. That, in fact, music is what paid my way through college. Yeah, so I didn't really drop out of the scene. It's just that I dropped out of music school, you know?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I was raining, man. I was raining.
So I see you like calypso and reggae. So which genre is really your go-to?
All right. I love every kind of music because I write every type of genre. Because I write music as well. Yeah.
Okay.
But reggae is predominantly the thing. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that reggae from Jamaica. But I can sing, I can play, I can actually write every type of music. Yeah. And that's why I guess that's what happened at Huey and Cass when I penned those songs. I mean, I was number one for 3 years consecutively for 3 categories.
Did you share any of your calypso songs with us, or are you gonna do a cappella for one of your
Actually, I
calypso
have to go
songs?
do a cappella because I never those songs. I tell you what, the one that really made a name in Jamaica. I tried to go to Fab Five to have them, record it for me and thing, and them said no, sir, it too political. So I just stopped. I didn't. I can give like a verse I still.
Make sure it's politically correct, though. You know,
No,
we
it
don't
is
want to
politically
get.
correct. It is politically correct, but they said at the time it's in the 80s, when the political scene wasn't too pretty. Yeah, and if I had gone out with that song, the boy and them endorse it, them not get a backlash. Because I did it on the carnival and everybody loved it, and I won with it. But them just shied away from it. It entitled "The Country Gone Crazy." Yeah, yeah, man.
Give us
Country
a little
gone,
teaser.
country gone crazy, trying to please everybody, borrowing some money, cause it ain't got any. The government in a problem, trying to solve them, but nobody know when it's going to be. Yeah. Yeah. We can say the first word. This little country is a blessed island, growing day by day, making its own way. But we have a lot of politicians who will come your way. You can hear them say, people, we are here to help you, so don't you worry. We can give you food. We can make things good. Whenever you're voting, make sure you're voting for me. Then you will get what you should. But the country gone crazy.
Still
Yeah.
going crazy, right?
Yeah, that was the part. That was the
Time for
part.
the
Yeah, they were like. Mm, yeah, man.
song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've got a little echo problem going here.
Hey, I can hear you now. If you go and talk same way, maybe I can
Yeah, yeah.
understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Got a little echo problem going here, but it's good to have you on with us this evening.
Yeah, man. Bless it.
And how long you been in the Atlanta area?
Uh, let me see. I came to Atlanta in 1997. That's about 30 years, 29 years, whatever that is.
Mhm.
Yeah, somewhere there.
And have you been doing performances in here?
Actually, when I just got here the first year, I was performing in some clubs.
Mhm.
But after a while, man, start making a family and tell you, I have to go work, boss.
So do you still do teaching? Because I know you mentioned that as one of your professions. Do you still do
Yeah,
that?
at my workplace, I do teach classes. Yes,
Mhm.
some classes. Yeah, at my
Okay.
workplace. Yeah. But yeah, I've started making a family, and so the music had to take a little backseat. But in recent times, now, like 3 years ago, 2019, coming 4 years ago, my brother and I and his wife, Universe, she named Tamara, but she's on the album too, Pastor.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
yeah, and yeah, she's very good, man. You can you can ask around. She's very good. So Universe and my brother Why Not and myself here, we formed a group called Patamar Music.
okay.
So this is those songs you're hearing now. They're on that label. They're out there now, ready to be bought.
Okay.
All the platforms, yes.
Well, let me play a little piece of the one that you're going to tell me a little bit more about it, okay?
All right.
Take a look into the book of life. Make sure you read and understand every word that has been carefully scribed and has been given unto men. Don't be so blind. Open your eyes, my friends, and you will surely see. You got to know and realize.
Yes, give us a little background on that one.
Oh, what?
Give us a little background on that one.
Oh, I tell you what, my brother, he's more of the production guy, because both of us play instruments, but he has that knack for production, man. So he builds rhythm on a daily. When I say daily, really daily basis. So he had built that rhythm, and he sent it to me, and say, hey, listen to that, man, and stuff. But the name of the rhythm is "Save My Soul," because he has a song on it called "Save My Soul." Beautiful song too. So he told me to listen to it, and man, for the first week or so, I couldn't get the vibe. I just couldn't get the vibe. I couldn't get the vibe. Because I have to get a vibe to write, and I just don't write because I want to write. I can write a song in 3 minutes, but sometimes it takes me a month to write one properly.
Mhm,
So at work one day, man, I was at lunch, and I decided I got the hook. I
mhm.
said, you know what, save my soul. But in order for him to save my soul, we have to praise him. We have to give him the honor, you know. And it just came to me, and we just started singing the hook. Give him the honor, give him the honor. And then you know, history from there, man. I just go around and pen the verses around it. And went down the same night when I leave work, I went straight to his, because if you see my studio behind me, but he has one like this too. And I went straight down to his studio and just voiced it, man. And that was it. Yep.
So, where would you say most of your inspiration comes from?
God.
Or when you're in a
I can't take anywhere from anything from God. I mean, it takes me as a physical person to do the stuff,
Mhm.
but the inspiration comes from the Father every time. Yeah. Mm. And I know things that happen around me. I write about those. I don't. People would think I'm not a gospel artist. I'm an artist, but I do a lot of gospel songs. But I have cultural songs too that address affairs that's going on and my life growing up as as a young man, not only a young man but as a black man too. Because I have another serious black song. It's actually a dub poetry because I write dub poetry too. Yeah, man.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. Me and Yasa Safari. I don't know if you know Yasa Safari. You heard about him, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have.
we come up in the ranks together. We were in college together, we were in, we work out together a lot. So some of the songs that you see him, the dub poetry him do, I had some dub poetry alongside him too. But he went out and did his thing. Yeah, yeah, man. So yeah, one other one. That one is crucial too, but it touched me every time I do it on stage. Though I haven't released it yet or anything, but when I do it on stage, it touches people.
Can
You
you
know,
give us a tidbit or
me
not?
know, me know you're that sweet.
I am greedy like that. What can
All
I
right,
say?
let me tell you. Let me go. He said, "Tell me why. Just tell me why. Tell me why black people have to cry. Them say when, excuse me, them say slavery abolished and black man free. But can you tell me, God, what is happening to me? Me liberate myself and me try to live right. But the wicked of the world just a give me pure fight. Tell me why. Just tell me why. Tell me why black people have to cry. Them say when you're wise, you can get fooled. And even when you're hot, you can get cool. But why when you're black, you can't get a blind? You have to stay back no matter how you try. Tell me why. Yeah. We have some more verse, but it's all right.
All right. That's a good takeaway for
Yeah.
Black History Month.
Yes,
That
man.
definitely ties in with Black History Month.
Yeah. Me do all genre music, man. Me have all some slow songs, was in song, all them songs. Yeah. Cause my father writes, and he used to play. My father and my mom sang in the choir at church, and my father played the organ and the keyboard. So he writes as well. He's inspirational. He and I have written 2 songs together too,
Wow.
But he passed away, so But we have some slow songs too, man. But
Were you
uh,
able to perform together before he passed?
no, he didn't perform. You see, he just loves to write and give it out to somebody. Yeah, he can sing though. He can sing because he's a singing in the choir too. But no, we didn't perform together at all. But we wrote songs together. Yeah, man. But Pastor, you have another song with you in the boss. Where you holding it back? That's the one that I try promoting now. Oh my God.
Pastor Rob, if you're talking, you are mute.
I think you're muted, you know. Mm,
Okay. Can you hear me now?
mm.
All right. I'm gonna get the other one on board for you. Okay.
Yeah, I will introduce it too and make you know what it's all about. All right.
Okay. Very good. Let me see if I got that one going here.
Mm.
Um,
That's the one. Yeah.
In his love, be a reflection of his love.
love that
Be a
rhythm.
reflection of his love. Live in his love. Be a reflection of his love. Be a reflection of his love. Since the beginning, he's been the source of life. Gave us his blessings and told us to do right. Somehow we faltered and ignored that force above. But by his grace and mercy, we can still live in his love. You got to show a love that's pure and true. You got to live the life he prepared. He's been the source of life. Gave us his blessings and told.
Yes, indeed, sir. Tell us about that one.
Huh? All right. After we released the Save My Soul, sometime was it last year or the year before? I think it's out there. But we are forever making music, so we leave that one to try to make its way out there. But my brother again came up with this inspiration with this rhythm, and
Hmm.
believe it or not, man, the artists that are on this rhythm, we got 14 artists on this rhythm. Just trust me,
Wow.
everybody love the rhythm,
Hmm.
and some of them too. Anonymous and Quelly Simba,
Yes.
Ken Sirius, Ron Clark, a bunch of artists on this one, man. Even Universe herself, Why Not the Paul, myself, bunch of people on this song. Steven Souza, yeah. And Steve and I went to school together too. He was the lead singer in our band when we were in school. So he's on this one too. But if you notice my shirt, Purpose, yeah, we're launching this album, this song,
Hmm.
this rhythm. It's called the Lighthearted Rhythm. We're launching it in May, which you're going to be a part of, Pastor Rob. You know that.
Hmm.
And yeah, the theme of the thing is purpose. So we're launching the album on May 19th, all right, of this year.
Hmm.
At the I'm trying to remember this church. I know, Merciful Father. I'm a loser. The Power of Praise Ministries Church in Lithonia. All right,
Hmm.
so that's where we're gonna keep the show. So that song in particular now,
Yes.
when he sent the rhythm to me, man, I said I must find something. I have to find something really, really good to put on this thing here. It took me a while to write this one too. It really took me over 2 weeks to really pen this one right because I even wrote it and I had to scratch some of the stuff and start over. Yeah, but I I I I wanted to do something
Hmm.
for the Lord, really, Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Everything what we do now, and with all these things that are going on in the boss, all these things that's going on. I just say, Father, I try my say, tell you so. I have to name the things, everybody I see what I go on and hear what I go on,
Yeah.
Right? The little killings and the political the scenery and everything.
Hmm.
Only God can deal with this, So me personally, say me have to get something where people can rock to,
Yeah.
but at the same time when them listen to words, it give them a spiritual awakening. See me?
Yeah, man.
So that's the way I looked at this song when I was writing it. And I said, only God love can either heal we or take us through now in a different time. Because everybody try to do them thing by themselves and it look like it's not working. Or
Hmm.
if it even working, it come with a whole heap of trial and tribulation, my brother. So I say, what, make a deal with the love part of God because God is love and love is God all day long. So I entitled it Live in His Love, or His Love. And then I wrote the lyrics around it. Yeah. And I wanted to make it sound dancehall-ish so
Yeah.
it can catch a wider spectrum of people.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I do it like how Frankie Power did with some of theme song them. But can I do it in another vein there?
Hmm.
For hold on to people. Get a nice hook, a catchy thing where people can remember. You got to show a love that's pure and true. You got to live the life he prepared for you. Something like that, something catchy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but spiritually, I try to make it worthwhile as well. So because the album itself in itself, with the 14 songs on the album, they're gospel, but they're not raw gospel like I said, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's gospel, but we kind of make it wide where people can understand what we're dealing with without calling Jesus or calling Jehovah or Yahshua. In fact, I mentioned Yahshua in one of my songs after this one. But then all the time we can't say Jesus, 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 because we not denounce Jesus, because Jesus is the king. You understand?
Right.
We not denounce Jesus, but you don't have to sing a gospel song and say Jesus all the time
Yes.
to make it reach people. Because some people shy, especially the secular people, them shy away from the name. But if you do
Right.
something to catch them, and when they listen, goodness and mercy, yeah, that's what they know. You understand? So, yeah, that's how we do it.
Yeah, so some of them they still believe in a high being, a supreme being, but
Yes.
just not want to use that name. So
Right.
basically, your song sort of trying to appeal to everybody so that they
Yes.
recognize that.
Yeah. And bridge the gap. That don't mean something to the song with Jesus and Yeshua, because I call that all the time, don't worry yourself. But I'm just saying, there are times when you got to write it in such a way that because God knows come to save the people who save already. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Jesus himself said that, not come to save the righteous, him come to save the man that we are saved. So them you want to reach, so any which way you can reach them without being having any taboo or any slackness in it or whatever. You reach them. Yeah, man. That's how we do it.
Okay, so Professor Roach, I'm gonna have you back again in a 2 weeks before the show.
Yes.
And we're going to talk a little bit further about that, okay?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
So,
man.
that event coming up. Uh, but I know you're also going to be on the
Yeah. The
Caribbean.
awards, the Caribbean Awards.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be performing there too. Giving us a little snippet of my
All
talent.
right.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing
Yeah,
it, definitely.
yeah, man. I give thanks to you, Pastor Rob and Wesley. Wesley, my brethren, because we do things together in a different realm. We do soccer together,
Yes, yes,
years, many years. So, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
man.
So it's great having you on, and this is just an introduction.
Yes,
And I look forward to having you back in about 2 weeks.
yes.
And you're going to send me some more music too.
All right, no problem, man. Blessed love, man.
All right.
And thanks, Julie Roach and Antoinette Forbes for bigging up Professor Roach.
Well, Julie's my wife.
Okay.
I know, behind
Yeah.
every man there's a strong woman.
Antoinette is our best friend, so them support me all day long.
Like I said, behind every man is a strong woman.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, tomorrow, Universe was supposed to be on, but apparently she's probably doing something right now. And because we came on earlier than we thought, she probably missed it. Yeah, but I texted her, but she didn't get it. But it's okay.
But thanks anyway for joining us. We appreciate you and looking forward to seeing you live on the 9th.
All right, Nadine. Thank you. All right, Pastor Rob.
Respect here.
Yeah, man. Blessed love every time. All right.
Very good. Very good.
Yes. Thanks.
Live in his love. Be a reflection of his love. Be a reflection of his love. Live in his love. Be a reflection of his love. Be a reflection of his love. Since the beginning, he's been the source of life, gave us his blessings and told us to do.
Yes, indeed. So we had just a little taste of Professor Roach. But I'm going to tell you right now that we're going to have Professor Roach back with us in about 2 weeks. And we're going to talk about that big event that's coming up here in the Atlanta area. And thanks, Professor, for stopping into Jamaican Explosion this evening. Nadine, how you doing? How did you like Mr. Roach?
Oh, I love him. I can't wait to see him perform live on the 9th. Guys, come on out, get your tickets. They're only $40. So come on out. You do get a meal as well as the award plus the after party. So you're getting a 3-for-1 thing. So come on out, guys.
Okay, so there we have it. Okay, and we have our next guest up here on Jamaican Explosion getting ready to come on. And Miss Nadine, I'm going to leave it up to you to introduce our next guest and have her until she comes in stage right here. Okay, Uh,
Yes, yes, guys. Our next guest is Dr. Claire Nelson. Echo.
okay, so it's a Dr. Claire Nelson, and as she comes on, we you want to say a couple of things before she comes on here.
I'm getting an echo.
Okay, I'm getting you loud and clear over here. So uh,
So, are you still hearing me, or I was getting an echo from myself?
yeah, I'm hearing you. Hmm.
Okay, so Dr. Claire Nelson, she's Forbes 50 female futurist. She's a sustainability engineer and innovation consultant. She's a storyteller, keynote speaker, White House champion for change. Dr. Nelson, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I do also hear an echo on your side. I think it's on your side. I don't side.
Okay, so it's good to have you with us, Doctor, and thank you for taking the time out to visit us here on Jamaican Explosion. And Nadine speaks so very well of you that I'm going to work on the sounds, and I'm going to give this interview to her because she's just so looking forward to this. So I'm going to work on some of the technical things that are going on, and Miss Nadine will take this interview.
Thank you.
Dr. Nelson, I know it's not only Women's Month, but I'm just so in awe of you and all your acclimates. And just want to know how you got started. Just give us a little background how you got started. And wow.
Well, it started in what? Obviously, I started in Jamaica, obviously. I grew up in Jamaica. I spent in Harborview. My mother, Mrs. Asnath Nelson, was a teacher at the Harborview Primary School. And I spent the first, I would say, from 2 years old to 18 years old. I was very much a product of Jamaica, Harborview School, and then St. Jude's High School. So I came in 60s and early 70s. So I'm very much a product of that era. The era when everybody's middle class child was turning dirty rasta. And so I'm very much a product of that era in terms of my political and social formation. And going to high school and then thought was encouraged.
Okay, that's great. So I see that you're listed as Forbes 50 female futurist. What does that mean, and how did you feel about that sort of recognition?
Well, first of all, a futurist as myself is somebody who is professionally engaged with supporting organizations, communities, institutions in thinking about and planning for the future they want or planning to avoid the future they fear. And it's an area where white and male. And so I think at the time when that list was put together, more women were becoming active in the industry as consultants and professionals, as business owners. And yes, I felt very good because at the time I think I was the only Black female or one on the list. So I felt very good to know that my work had been recognized at that level.
That's fantastic. And you don't hear much about women being an engineer and being innovators and stuff. Tell us a little bit about your journey to that.
Well, at St. Jude's High, we were very much at the time encouraged to think outside the box. And in my year, we went through O levels physics in 1974, I believe. And about maybe 2 or 3 of us from that class wanted to do engineering. When science and physics were headed towards medicine. As far as I know, only 2 of us actually went on to do engineering. One did civil, and myself, I did industrial at the time. So we were very much the first. I don't think there's any other St. Jude's girl before us that we know of that did engineering. So be the first St. Jude's high school girls that did engineering. and then I went on to do a graduate work as a master's and doctorate. So I have, until I'm proven otherwise, I think I'm the first Jamaican woman to have a doctorate in engineering. Anybody before me, and so I've been asking. Now I'm the only one I know. Of course, since that time, many others have come on board. There are many other women in engineers. I've met quite a few in Jamaica. Not a lot, but enough that I don't feel alone. And certainly in the last 5 to 10 years, many more women are going into engineering. And so, but certainly in my era, back in the day, I was very much alone.
Was there any inspiration that inspired you to go with that, considering that there weren't a lot of female role models at that time?
The inspiration is I didn't want to be like everybody. I always kind of prided myself on being different. I took great pride in being an odd person, in being the odd person out, in being contrary, in dressing weird. I used to get laughed at a lot. Um, I was, dressing in long clothes when miniskirts were fashion, tiny plaits when that was not the thing to do. I looked odd and I was odd, and so rather than fight it, I just gave into it and took pride in being weird.
Well, guess what? That literally paid off for you. And I hope that's an inspiration for those who are listening, or even the younger generation, that they know that being odd, being weird, you just have to embrace yourself.
Yes. Yes, you have to. I mean, I was teased a lot, make no bones about it. I mean, and I did cry a lot, but I realized when I look back that the fact that I was crying and feeling was probably more anger because I wasn't good at coming back with, I didn't know how to come back with a remark. So I wouldn't think of what to say till like 3 days later when it's too late. So I think most of my tears were tears of rage, because if I said to myself, well, if I was that one day, so I didn't. So clearly it's not that depressed by the fact that I was teased. So my tears were probably tears of rage.
For me, you're quite an inspiration because, like I said, in an industry where you didn't have a lot of female, or if you see a lot of female role models, the fact that you persevered and stick to what you enjoyed doing, that's a great thing.
And I think it was an inspired choice when I decided to do industrial engineering. I really was giving thought to becoming a Minister of Industrial Planning. My grand scheme at 19 years old was to become the first female Prime Minister of Jamaica. Everybody knows I didn't make but, but that's okay. I did other things that maybe compensate for that grand dream that never happened. Um, and at the time, I thought doing this would make me um, a better minister, a better man. So I wanted to be good at what I did. I took pride in being good. I say a lot, and people know I say I wish there were more ministers in Jamaica that were actually trained scientists and engineers, because I think we get a much better output and outcome from decisions. Too many people who just talk, too many lawyers, political science and history. That's not what it's going to take Jamaica to the next level. So I am adamant on that. I am bold to say that, and I don't really care who gets offended, that yes, there should be more engineers in elected office in the Caribbean region and in Jamaica in particular.
Well, I must say you may not have had your voice back then, but you definitely have gained it now.
Well, I had a voice certainly in St. Jude's High School for girls. I was not one for keeping my mouth shut when I had an opinion. And I think it is the fact that my principal of St. Jude's High School girls was very much ahead of her time. She believed in giving us a voice. Not that she actually gave me my voice, but to the extent that I was sent to her office for infractions in classes, she never once punished me for my opinion. She would hear me out, hear why I behaved what the teacher would consider in a deplorable fashion, and usually she sent it back to my office without a demerit, demark, or detention. And so I think, thinking back now, of course, the time I was just grateful to not be in trouble, right? Because if I went home with the mark, I'd probably get licks on top of that. And I could
Right.
as a teacher, right? So as a courtesy to save me from getting licks when I go home or what. But she certainly didn't punish me for my opinion. And thinking back on that now, I realize that sort of a emotional support, allowing me uh, to 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 understand that okay, maybe my or I shouldn't have made an outburst in the middle of a conversation, but not being told that what I thought was wrong gives me the confidence, has given me the confidence over the years to know that my opinion might be contrary to the status quo, but that is what it's still valid. And in fact, when you think change are not following the status quo, they tend to be ahead of what other people are saying and seeing. And so it's just the way I'm made up. And I'm not going to try and deny my character or deny my purpose because I truly believe that having drunk the Kool-Aid of the Jamaica's play national anthem, I do believe in the statement, give us vision lest we perish. And so being blessed with ability, a God-given ability to see ahead of things and see what's coming. I think it's my duty to be almost like a Warner woman. You know, Jamaica have the Warner woman preaching on street corners. I said, in fact, I had an auntie who was a Warner woman. She'd preach on the sidewalk in Jamaica. And I'd be when I would see her like, oh God, one of my friends is not. I would make sure nobody sees, or she wouldn't see me, so I would be embarrassed in front of my friend. But thinking back on that now, I realize that those shaped me to become the person I am today in terms of being what Shirley Chisholm says, to be unbought and unbossed, and having the conviction of what you believe has value, has merit, and ought to be at the table when decisions are being made for the good of the whole, for our.
Wow, I can definitely see why your future is, because you definitely want to see things, progress and how to improve it. I also noticed that you are a White House champion for change. Tell us a little bit about that. We could see the passion coming out in you.
Back in my days of working at the Inter-American Development Bank, I was, I would say, called. I really want to say call to become the voice of the voiceless. Latin America, from Argentina to Mexico, has a significant Black population which has been very much invisible. And because of the racism that was meted out to me, I was called by God not to just focus on my own personal, let's say, challenge, but to see the universality and to become the person who would speak up for those people who are not in the room. And so I basically started a movement within the institution to talk about diversity, to talk about development with equity. It was not on the bank's agenda. I got into a lot of trouble, but I recognize that when you come from has given the world Marcus Garvey, has given the world Rastafarian, and a whole religion that's based on Black thought and Black ideology, a world that has given the world, Bob Marley, for example. I certainly could not turn pulse, if you will, to speak out for power. And let me just say that the reason why I say I was called, because up until that time, I stuttered pretty severely. And so once I got the call, it was as if to say, finally, it was time for me to be a speaker. All of this passion I'd had in high school and, jumping up and down and behaving badly, finally, I had a cause to defend. Before I was just a bundle of whatever, waiting for this cause. I finally found a cause that gave me purpose, gave my life purpose. And I do believe that this is why I am who I am today, because I did answer that call. I took courage from the national heroes that have shown us the way. And it being Black History Month, I want to bring that our national heroes in Jamaica. We tend to put them up on a shelf and anything to us, but I want us to remember the sacrifices of Assam Sharp, that back in the day when he spoke out against the injustice of slavery, he was slaughtered. He and several others were executed for the right to read. And so we are standing on the shoulders of giants. And so I saw as somebody who I could emulate. And so my behavior was okay, I'm going to have to fight this as a guerrilla warrior to try to get me. So one of my favorite songs was "He Who Fights and Runs Away Lives to Fight Another Day." So I operated from those that were in history. And it interesting as a teenager. But somehow being forced to go to those history classes now, I now saw the value of the history, which I never liked in high school. So no lessons are invaluable. You might rebel. I want to have to learn this stupidness. But when I now had to do the work, I recognized if I had not known that there was a nanny, if I had not known that there was a Sam Sharp and a Marcus Garvey, perhaps I wouldn't have had the courage to go that last mile every time and not be feel defeated.
Wow. That is definitely deep, because guess what? Without that history, you couldn't be making plans for the future.
You can't. To be a good futurist, it means you have to understand the arc of history. History repeats itself. Marcus Garvey, people without the knowledge of their history is like a tree without roots. And so we have to go to a history to even understand some of what is happening today. When we look at what is happening with our children, the level of violence, the level of seemingly one young people. Well, they have the history of the last 20 years of people leaving their children behind to come to America in search of a better life. In some ways, yes, they might have economically better off, but we're not socially better off. We're not culturally better off because we now have a deficit, a love deficit, a care deficit. We're uncared for by absent mothers, absent fathers. And so now we have this history providing this social morass in which we are now finding and struggling to find our way out. So now that we understand that, it's up to us as those of us in the diaspora who are doing what we can to create a better must come Jamaica. It's up to us that we can to enable the change that we can do. Obviously, we can't do everything. We're not in power, but we do have power to help through our high schools, to our churches, to the communities we come from, to those people who are working so hard in community organizations and NGOs and the Girl Scouts and all these organizations to try to do something to give a hand to those at home.
Well, Dr. Nelson, we want to thank you. Thank you so much for sharing all that passion. And we look forward to see what's next for you. What's the next challenge, the next cause you're going to take up?
Well, the next cause I'm taking up is a sustainable Caribbean sea. We have a sea that is shared by all. We know that there's an oil spill. We know that the Caribbean is weak. We know that the Caribbean civil society is very weak. We know that corruption is rampant. We know that our islands are for sale. We know that law of seabed mining means that they might start giving away rights to mine. And we know that if the sea dies, so do us. So on the 29th of February at 7 p.m., we're having our first Caribbean Futures. We're going to be talking about the UN Summit of the Future, reflecting on the fact that Jamaica is a co-facilitator of the Future Generations Pact. So we have an opportunity for young people in the Caribbean in particular to make sure they're not left behind. Unfortunately, have passed, but it's not too late for us to get engaged and have an intergenerational dialogue on what we can do to ensure we save the Caribbean Sea and make a better world for us, a better Caribbean region for all of us.
Well, Dr. Nelson, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being an inspiration to us. Thank you for being an innovator, futurist. And we look forward to learning more and see how we can participate, no matter how small a contribution we can make towards making Jamaica and any other environment a better place.
For having me, and I'm looking forward to Jamaican Explosion being a partner, not just for Jamaica in Jamaica, but Jamaicans here and Caribbean people here, and making sure you get ready to help us celebrate June as National Caribbean American Heritage Month.
We'll be there.
Okay.
Pastor Rob, you're still on mute? Oh,
I'm still on mute.
no, you're good.
Okay, yeah. Well, wow. Well, Doctor, it's just a pleasure to have you with us today. And wow, what an inspiration. I can't, wow, engineer. Not too many female engineers, you know? So uh, I think Nadine asked, but what exactly moved you to go into engineering?
As I said before, I just wanted to be different. I thought about being a doctor, but when I found I'd have to cut up
Right.
dead people, I agree. So the idea of a duppy from a dead man following me was not something I, I thought I could manage. So doctoring was out.
Yes.
I know I wasn't going to do law because I found a textbook. And I love math and physics. So I didn't like accounting either. I hated accounting. So really engineering was one of the few things that was left at that time.
That was left.
But seriously, I was like, I thought about doing electrical engineering. I thought about doing biomedical engineering. So the problem with that is because I tell stories, right? If I work in a hospital, I thought every sickness that is flying around, I say, oh, my toe hurting me. Oh my God, it's some disease. Oh, my head hurting me. Oh my God, it's some disease. So I couldn't work in a hospital. So that was out. I thought about aeronautical engineering, but at the time, and even though I'm working in space now, at the time I thought aeronautical, Jamaica don't have an aerospace in industry. And remember, my plan was to come back home and run for politics and become the first female prime minister of Jamaica. So really, industrial engineering was the only thing that was left that would make sense for me, minister of Jamaica. That was my logic. I'm just telling you my logic. I mean, I was 15, whatever. That's how I thought then, okay?
But Dr. Nelson, what's stopping you now?
I know
Well,
you
I
can
won't be the first, but if I was to, people have asked me going to politics, and it's simply because I don't have enough money to buy the vote. And that is our reality.
Dr.
They'll
Nelson,
train you.
Dr.
Don't
Nelson,
worry, they'll train you.
Dr. Nelson, you are something else. And this I'm going to touch on. What would you have to say to those that are a little bit that are coming up through the ranks that are a little bit just different from the rest? You said you were wearing long skirts when others were wearing short, and you had your hair curled up when so forth like that. What would you have to say to that young female or that young gentleman who just thinks they're a little hard? What kind of encouragements that you would you give
I
them?
would like to encourage those young people who find themselves not following the fashion to
Hmm.
be comfortable to understand shearers and those who are leading change have always been considered odd, even from their word children, right? So
Hmm.
comfortable the fact that you don't wear a gun mount pants or a tight pants. Be comfortable the fact that you don't have 8-inch nails because it's in fashion, or you don't wear a weave. Be comfortable the fact that you wear your hair kind of looking crazy, because it means that you have been gifted with a mind that is outside of the status quo. And remember, it's those who did not fit in to be the leaders. It's the misfits who Jesus went and found. So consider yourself, start asking yourself, what is my purpose?
Mm, love that, doctor. And guess what? We have to have you back on again. Yeah,
All right.
doctor, in the Jamaican word, you're full of lyrics.
All right. So I look forward to being back
Okay.
and to sharing more about the future we want and the Jamaica we want whenever you need a boost.
Yes. We so look forward to it. So look forward to it. Tell your friends about us at Jamaican Explosion, and we want to have you back again pretty soon in the near future.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. I just want to shout out to the people in Boston. I'm happy to be in Boston attending the awards that has been put on by a Jamaican leader in this area, Mr. Andrew Sharp of Authentic And everybody's listening from
Okay,
Boston. Just want to big up all the Jamaicans and other Caribbean people who are being honored tonight for their commitment to community. So I'm here to support that event.
love it, love it, love it. I was in Boston for a while myself, and dear, working at one Ashburton place at the State House when I just got started in my career there. Okay, so hello Boston, how you doing? Okay,
Thank you so much. Until the next time.
very
Okay,
good,
thank
man.
you, Dr. Nelson. Walk good.
Yes, indeed. So it's Jamaican Explosion on a Saturday evening. Pastor Rob here along with Nadine, and it's been our pleasure. Wow, we got a show going on here, Nadine. Wow, Doctor is impressive.
Oh,
To the
yes. She's
least, huh?
quite an inspiration to us females. Definitely in awe of her.
Okay, I could see it. She just right up your alley, Nadine. Very good. I got Mr. Peter Gracie coming on in this is Jamaica section in a couple of minutes right here. He's on the standby mode and so forth like that. But let's speak a little bit and remind the our audience about, of course, the award show because we want to keep pushing that award show. We want everybody to come on out and check out our award show that's coming up in 2 weeks, 2 Saturdays from now. We'll be having the award show.
March 9th.
Okay, and we want to invite everyone to come out and be with us on that evening of that award show, and you'll see some very interesting folks there too, because we have quite a few people that is coming into town. Miss Tanya Lou, for example, one of the ambassadors of for the This Is Jamaica program. Mr. Peter Gracie is getting ready to come on here in a couple of minutes. I'm waiting to see his picture live before I bring him up. Uh, and It's just a pleasure. It's just a pleasure to be with you all here. Nadine, will you go ahead and tell them about the award show that's coming up?
Yes, guys, it's gonna be an award show. It actually starts with dinner at 6 p.m. and that's going to be followed by the award show. After the award show, there's the after party. In between that, you'll be having live performances from Mr. Andrew Bell himself, and Tanya Lou, and Professor Roach, and other artists are going to be performing in between. If you're not able to come out for the award show, they do have a after party featuring DJ Flawless Movement, and there's a second DJ. There's going to be two DJs. So guess what? If one DJ is not doing it for you, the second one definitely will. So come on out, guys.
Okay. All right, indeed. Okay, very good. So, quite a few things getting ready to happen here in the Atlanta area. And Mr. Peter Gracie seems to be up from This Is Jamaica. Let's bring him on stage here. Hey, our friend, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
All
I'm
right.
doing good. How you doing?
All right. I keep forgetting that Mr. Gracie always tell me, and I can't, that don't ask him how he's doing because he's always doing good. Mr. Gracie,
Always perfect day, right, Nadine?
it's always a prayer.
Yes.
Definitely.
Always a perfect day, man. How's your day going?
Perfect.
Perfect.
How's your day going, Mr. Shaw?
Perfect, sir. Perfect. When I'm talking to
Perfect.
Mr. Well, and it has even gotten more perfect since I'm speaking to you.
So let me ask you this: Do you know why it's
Yeah, because this is I'm going to give you a pastor answer. For this is the
yes?
day for this is the day that the Lord has made. So I'm gonna.
So if you know that, why every day is not like that?
True. Words of wisdom. I
Yeah.
receive them.
All right. So I don't want to separate it anymore. All right.
All right.
It,
All right.
it's perfect day.
Yeah. No, Nadine. You have your role models. I got mine. Mr. Grace.
That's why I'm staying quiet.
Okay. So Mr. Gracie, what's happening in your world?
Man, a lot, man. But you know, there's a saying by I'm a brother of a lodge, right?
Oh,
And
really?
yes. And then there's a brother that in history his name is Manly P. Hall.
Okay.
And Manly P. Hall has this saying that says the status of a man in the
Yeah.
natural world is determined therefore by the quality of his thinking.
Mm. Wow.
Right?
Deep.
So we have so many things that go on at the same time. I have to make sure that the quality of my thinking is, is somewhat on point because let me tell you something. It's a lot. It's a lot. But my balance and my focus. You know what I say?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. So it go.
Are
for
you
real.
attending any of the Black History Month events? I think I saw quite a few from Florida today.
Well, I was in Miami last night. We went to Voices of Jamaica. And so I went to support that. And today I just say, you know what? Just go and chill. It's a lot. Got in at like 4 this morning. As a matter of fact, Adriana was there also. And she represented her dad, Bunny Ruggs from Third World.
Yes.
So Black History Month with the Jamaican American Chamber of the USA Chamber of Commerce with Marie Gill.
Mhm.
It's a big thing. So we had the opportunity to do a big celebration of Black history last night. At the same time, the president of This Is Jamaica was the star of the show there, as she performed a few of her dad's songs like 96 Degrees, things like that. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I could just imagine how great that was. Wow. Wow. I saw the event advertised, but I didn't get a chance to check it out myself. So, Mr. Gracie, the This is Jamaica uh, contest this year is already started, right? The competition for this year is already started, right?
Well, no, no. The competition. So you guys look frozen.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up there. I think you're in the car out there moving. Yeah, so we got Mr. Peter Gracie. We're gonna bring him back here in a second or so, as he is moving. So we're gonna get him back on with us when he's in a stationary here. Okay. Okay. Here he comes back again. Nadine. All right. So there we go. Yes, Mr. Gracie, you're back with us.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So I was saying, we in our last meeting we figured out the dates of when it's going to work.
Okay.
As far as the beginning date for the scholarship itself and when the finals is going to be aired.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that we're still working out as far as like how we're going to do it this year. Are we going to live on TV?
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that. Right now, I'm negotiating with TVJ or CVM to see
Mm-hmm.
how we can do it that way instead of doing it the traditional way. We're just
Okay.
toying with ideas right now. So that's going on. At the same time, I'm getting ready to announce the title sponsor, which is the Lorraine J. Smith Foundation, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a few that we're going to be already partnering up with,
Mm-hmm.
as far as with her foundation, because as you know, the title sponsors for This Is Jamaica. You cannot be a title sponsor if you're not going to get involved. So you
Wow.
can't keep your money. want to get involved with the kids, you keep him right. We don't need your money. This is not the way it works. This is an inclusive effort. You know,
Mm.
everyone has to be included. You know. So so um so we're getting ready to do some announcement coming up.
So what does the
You know,
inclusion
and
involve? Just
so
in
that's where
case,
we are right now. I'm
what
sorry.
does what does the inclusion involve? Just in case there's any other sponsors that may be interested in participating.
Well, the thing is, the way This Is Jamaica operates is we don't have no whole heap of things that go on out in the things, you know, like some other organizations. They have
Mhm.
whole heap of events they're putting on. We focus on this scholarship program. And once we have a winner for a school, for second and third place, what we try to do is somewhat, in a sense, kind of adopt the school based from where the winner is from,
Mhm.
right? And if you're a title sponsor, it simply means that you, as the title sponsor, at some point, we had to determine that you were aligned properly with the mission of This Is Jamaica, which is to empower the children of Jamaica to restore and preserve their culture through poetry and the creative arts. If your organization is not aligned somewhat with that, we don't need your money. You understand? Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a family. We don't want to have this and we're taking your money and you're out there doing something else and you can't even be involved in one of these child's life, you know?
Yes, yes, yes,
So
yes. Mm.
environment to show that in doesn't matter which direction it come from. It could be a title sponsor, it could be one of us on the board, it could be an ambassador, whosoever it is. If there's something that needs to be done, we identify it and we see how we can get it done, if we can get it done. But everyone has to be involved and have an input. It's not about just This Is Jamaica board and all of that. Everyone has an input to say
Okay.
how we can make the life of children better. Not only that, how can going forward, what we're looking at, how can we make the lives of the teachers and the parents better?
That's good.
You
Mhm.
know, so that's the direction we're going. And
Mhm.
This is Jamaica. We don't have any tactics, you know. We don't have tactics and we don't have any little thing. What you see is what you get. We're there to,
Yes.
to support these children as much as possible. We're
Mhm.
there to support the school as much as possible. And
Yes.
on the auspices of that ambassador, whether she's 6 years old or 9 years old or 17 years old, we get permission from her as an organization here. See how wonderful that is? To go
Yeah.
into her school and
Wow.
provide these services. And let me give you an example of some of the services that's going on right now.
Mhm.
In Redwood Primary, which was the year before,
Yes.
the,
We had her.
the, the sustainability of the support that's going on right now is that they're creating agricultural farms, boxes in the school. I don't know if you saw some of those videos. And
Mhm.
through Old Farmers Association of North America, OFANA, they're getting water tanks for the
Mhm.
basic school, right? And we're about to put in a computer lab down there for them, you
Oh,
know.
that's great. That's great.
And then through the ex-servicemen and women of Jamaica, I think they're in Atlanta somewhere, whatever, with Stafford Grant,
Yes.
we're they're going to provide software coding classes for these kids, right? And so we're kind of adapting the school, you know, we're kind
Yeah.
of doing stuff in school. What you see with This Is Jamaica is what you get. The mission is what we're on, and that's what it's really about, but it takes the input of all of us working together, from the title sponsor down to the last person, the student herself or himself.
I'm loving it.
So, where what school's taking front page this year?
Well,
It's
right now, The last winner we have is Marcia here from Norman Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the title sponsor finally is onboarded by the end of this month, we're gonna start putting up the mural down there for
Mm-hmm.
her. So they're gonna have a mural. And we're gonna start working on the computer lab,
Okay.
computers in and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're gonna through those computers. It's gonna be like This is Jamaica Creative Labs, computer labs, where now the kids in that school will actually have an area or somewhere to go where if they're doing something like they're videotaping their thing for This is Jamaica, whatever, they can dump the footage over here.
That's
Because
good.
what I found after I did some research this year is that there were some kids that they really love, when I see them enter, you know,
Yeah.
the parents, I'm gonna say, yo, your kids them, yo, trust me, that the kids them talented. But
Yeah.
here's a lot of these kids are recorded by other kids,
Mm.
and it's not their phone, so them never get them footage.
Oh wow. Mm.
Can't enter.
Mm-hmm.
So through these creative labs where we have the computers, they can go dump the footage off there, so the kids can have some more kids can be able to enter, right? Not only that, we're going to use it as a creative lab, but they can use it as their library, right?
Wow.
Can
Mm-hmm.
use it as a tech lab or whatever. But
Yeah.
importantly, through these computers, we have organizations like the Strength to Breathe that will come in, and through these computers, they can
Mm-hmm.
offer mental health check, wellness check, and all that for the teachers and the parents. So it's a whole community thing, and it's a whole total involvement thing.
Oh,
So there you go.
so that's gonna be the same school from last year. Just is
What
it
do you
gonna
mean?
be, is it at the very same school from last year, or is it at a
Right,
new school?
Marcia Dale is the reigning ambassador, and her
Okay.
school is Norman Gardens.
Okay. Yeah. So
Right.
it's still at Norman Gardens this year.
Yeah. We're doing some project at Norman Gardens.
Okay.
Um, Not only that, but in our last meeting we had,
Mhm.
Dr. Andrea Thorpe brought up a point where, um, we have to do a little more focus on the
Mhm.
second and third place schools also.
Yeah.
To focus on it more. So she said that, and me jump in action. I guess them don't know yet, but I guess watching this they'll know now. You know, at a meeting last night with a few organization where they're going to be donating children's books and stuff
Wow.
like that.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm going to get these books in these libraries. There are tech labs that we're going to create as a library,
Yeah.
in many books as possible. We
Yeah.
also have some other books that we're going to get that's a little more advanced.
Hmm.
And so the second place winner was from Trelawney,
Yeah.
and she that was a high school. So
Mhm.
these books can be used in that high school. So right now, I'm just negotiating and leveraging other organizations that can, make a difference in these schools. That's how it works.
Nadine, you think we could get together some books here? Let's have a book drive and send those books down to Jamaica.
Well, definitely something we could look into.
Yeah, something that we can do until we arrive on the ground in Jamaica at some time during the course of the year. We'll be coming to visit the school with our cameras and so forth like that. So we plan to get deeply involved this year, not just we're not just talking the talk. We're going to start walking the walk.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yes, sir.
Guys,
Hey,
there you hear it. I'm once again being told.
hey, listen, let me tell you something. You see, the great thing about This is Jamaica is we do exactly what we're set out, what we set out to do.
Yes, yes.
And we never fail.
Mm,
We never fail because it's the reason why we never fail is because the effort is really effortless.
wow.
Because we're doing something that we love. So it's not work.
Wow. Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? Working is for losers, you know. So if you do what you love, you never work. If you do what you love, you never work. And a lot of people, let me give you the stats. 73% of students that go to college graduate with a degree and get a job in something else than they get the degree for.
Wow.
And they owe all that student loan, right?
Oh, that's the rough part.
That's the rough part, right? Because now they're working in some area that they never get the degree for. 73%, 73. That's a very high number.
Yeah.
Right. But if
Wow.
we recognize something that we love,
Mm-hmm.
the sake of these kids in Jamaica, nothing else.
Yeah.
It's not work. It's not work.
Yeah. It's a passion. It's a passion that you have, sir. But Peter, the more I talk to you, the more I realize that you're more of a radical than
Why is that?
you're you're kind of radical,
Eh?
you're kind of radical in many movements in many ways, and that's all right,
No,
Speaking
no, no. When it's a radical, I'm kind of interested to hear what that means still, you know?
well,
You can't say that. You can't just say that and just walk away, Doctor
well,
Pastor. You know?
well, I say radical in the sense of you just speak your mind and take it or leave it. In that sense, uh, because I know the roles that you play here in the even in the south, the southern, the south,
The Global Jamaica Diaspora Council.
right, exactly, and but uh, you don't speak freely. You know what I'm saying, and that's all right. I like
We have
that.
a second doctor clear on our hands.
Yeah,
No, man, listen. No, no, no. This is one Peter Gracie. Right? That's it. Because see, Pastor Shaw or Nadine, listen. I don't care for I don't care what other people are doing.
you said it
I
right.
know what I'm doing. So I would never try infringe upon what you're doing. I would never want what you're doing. I know exactly what I'm doing because I am balanced and I am focused.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying.
Mm.
I know what I'm doing. Whatever anybody else do, that's their thing. Period.
Mhm.
You understand? So the thing is, I know that I know that I'm a traveling man, right? As they
Yes.
say. And I'm not bringing any large thing into this, but I know how to navigate myself around different communities and different people. I know how to speak to people on different levels. Because me
Yeah.
a little kid from Waterhouse. We know
Yes.
how the thing work. We know how the thing set. We know it from the grassroots all the way up to the top.
That's all right.
So when the pendulum swing, I go all this way, I can navigate myself.
That's all right. That's all
Right?
right.
You understand? The thing about it, a lot of us are trying to say things, but we say it in this way where a lot of people can't understand what we're doing. So when we speak, we have to speak so a baby can understand. So I
Mm.
don't think it's radical, me radical. I just think that I'm just
I'm
not wearing
just
a mask.
Peter.
I'm not wearing a mask today. I'm not wearing a mask, so I don't have any other personality. This
Yes.
is me.
No hidden agenda. Just staying focused and true to yourself.
Staying focused, no competition, no tactics, nothing. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
Pastor Shaw, I know you might
Yes.
have a problem with me saying this, but I speak freely, right?
Yeah.
And no purpose. No, I have no purpose whatsoever.
That's right.
Because the way I look at it, I see the life itself is the purpose.
Mm.
And everything that's happened that we create is just the ambiances of life that allows us to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
So we create a purpose and we run with it. But what happened? We say we want to doctor, and then what happened? It done?
No.
No, we keep it moving because life goes on.
Yeah.
We're in the purpose. So if we keep my purpose,
Okay.
We're losing you again, Peter. Peter, we're losing you again.
Am I here?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we're
Yeah,
hearing you now.
Right. So my usage of the ambience is try to help as many kids as possible as I can.
that's good.
And there's nothing else to it. If you hear
Mm-hmm.
anything bad about me, if you hear any rumors about me and all that, those
Mm-hmm.
things happen. Right? But my focus is the
Yeah,
kids. I to know that
yeah,
is mission. And when I heard you said earlier that
yeah,
Nadine, let's try to collect some books. You don't even know how that even make me feel good.
yeah, man, for sure. You know, yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna try we're not gonna try. We're gonna contribute in the areas that we can contribute in. I believe that if we'll find those areas that we can contribute in, and that's going out to the audience too, find that area that you can contribute in, and just don't say it, go about doing it, getting it done. And I heard him mention references to the lodge, and I would say, all right, my brother. All right, because it don't matter which one, it doesn't matter which one which one you're in, so forth like that. I am from both.
Oh, I'm hearing something else. There you go.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
There you
sir.
go.
Yes,
There you go.
yes, sir.
There you go.
What? Are
But you know what, though, Pastor Shaw, before you go, I just want to say this.
you,
I don't want, let's not go out and search for what we can do.
that's correct.
If you're going to follow This is Jamaica,
Mhm,
this is what it's. Don't try to find something
mhm.
to do. Just follow your heart.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And it would lead you to what
Yes.
it serves.
Yeah.
Just follow your heart.
Yeah.
Don't try to find something. Because when you have to go out and find it,
Yeah.
it's not a genuine thing. Don't no, just let it just
Make it
follow your heart.
make it flow. Make it flow.
Yeah,
You know,
make it flow. If you're not ready for join or you're not ready for coming, don't come.
that's right. Come when you're ready.
Just when you're ready, you just come. It's
Yeah.
easy, 1, 2, Yeah.
Yeah. So Peter, it's always a pleasure, man, having you, honorable. And we love you, and this is Jamaica. But one of these days, I'm gonna corner you, in telling us a little about the diaspora happenings. Because I know that you're well versed and really heard you speaking on a Zoom meeting the other day, and I was so impressed with
Oh, with the ambassador, right?
yes.
Okay, yeah.
So that's great, and we join with you in presenting the best of Jamaica, and this is Jamaica right here. We present the very best of Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Because Jamaica have so many great things to present and so forth like that, and it's one of the greatest if tourist areas, and I don't know why they're trying to pull a wool over our eyes, so to speak, but they can't do it because the truth of the matter is it's their own reviews that came out and said earlier during the year that Jamaica is the number one destination. I heard that, and then all of a sudden you're gonna come out with a little thing that says, "Oh, it's not safe to go to Jamaica." So
Well, let me just say this though, that travel advisory,
yeah,
um, that level 3 travel advisory
hmm
is just, it was always there.
oh, okay,
It was always level 3.
hmm
Is when they change stuff on it and release again and then refresh again, it's brand new again.
oh, so that's what it.
But it was always a level 3, so it doesn't matter because Jamaica had so many visitors
Yes,
last year.
sure.
This is not going to slow anything down, but we have to be very cautious.
Mm,
We have to see what's going on and we have to act on it. So when the meeting was called the other day and we had the ambassador Audrey Marks on,
mhm.
that meeting was phenomenal.
Yes, it was.
Right. And going forward, what I'm going to do is, you say I sent you the invite, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because you need to know firsthand what's going on. so you can have information to give to your audience.
Yes, sir.
So therefore, whenever I get any of these things that I can invite you,
Yeah.
you'll be one of the first person I invite to come to these meetings.
I do appreciate it, sir. I do appreciate it.
Oh, you are Nadine, sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna bring Nadine along, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Mr. Gracie, we kind of have done our time. The Strength to Breed is getting ready to come up, and I have a very interesting guest here that's going to speak about men issues, and I can't wait.
Who's that person?
Not Mr. Andel G. Green is getting ready.
All right. Tell him I said hi.
Yeah.
And tell him I love you, my brother. All right.
Yes,
Peace out.
Yes,
love you.
Until next
Okay.
time. Okay. The Honorable Peter Gracie here, and we just love whenever he stops by here on Jamaican Explosion, and he has always always got have great encouragement for us, and he's all about the youths, all about the youths. Yes, indeed. So now we're gonna go and pivot into our next guest. This is Jamaica. Taken from the poem by Peter Gracie, This is Jamaica, but also there's another poem, The Strength to Breed, and there's also a segment on the Strength to Breed here. And I'd like to go ahead and invite our guest on for this evening, Mr. Andel Green. How are you, sir? Welcome to Jamaican Explosion.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Andel.
Is my audio good? You guys hear me?
Yes, you're coming through clearly. And Peter Gracie just said to tell you he loves you.
I heard him. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Mr. Andel, okay, and I was told how to properly introduce you, but you are such a man of so many different talent. I would just let you go ahead and just tell us who you are, and just tell us who you are.
Bell Pastor Shaw, thank you for having me. Nadine, good evening. Thank you guys for having me. Listen, I'm just a humble, country kid. I still call myself a kid, but don't worry about the colors on the beard. But I'm a country kid from a parish called Westmoreland, and just a passionate person about life itself. I heard Mr. Gracie talk about life and how life is just simple and how people should look forward to life. And I look at that myself. I live that intentionally myself. But my background, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I started out in the financial service business, and after that, I grew that business, scaled it and sold it, and then I actually got into owning a crypto business. I'm actually still part owner of that company. And presently, I own and operate a real estate investment firm right now. What we do with our real estate investment firm is we create a pathway for home ownership for a lot of people who wouldn't able to qualify for a mortgage with the bank itself. So we have programs that help those people getting to a home. But as well, one of the things also I'm a speaker. I like to give back in terms of pouring into others. So that's me in a nutshell.
Okay, and a coach, a life coach too, right?
Yep.
All of those things wrapped up.
All wrapped up in one.
Okay, and Nadine, there's somebody else you can speak to about real estate, Nadine.
I know.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm going to take the back seat because it's supposed to be a men's health. So I'm just going to be learning and absorbing all of this.
Listen, I mean, we all have inputs, and that's as we all have inputs and voices, so we can speak. Don't worry about it.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, we had a female, Miss Fong, and they were speaking. So I took the back seat then and listen. Now it's Nadine's turn.
It's her turn. Okay.
Reverse roles today. So
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna bring you center stage, and Nadine's gonna go backstage, and we're gonna speak. We're gonna speak about men, mental health as it relates to men.
Yes.
And
Very, very, very touchy topic, especially in our diaspora,
Yeah, yeah. Why is it touchy?
because of how we are growing up. Men
Yeah.
on a whole grew up to be, macho. Especially when you see as a kid growing up,
Hmm.
the females or the girls can actually fall and trip, and you run to go get them, and the boys fall, and you like get up and trying to be tough and all that stuff. So
Hmm.
you know, feelings and emotions are hard to communicate and articulate for men.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm. And I find that to be very true. And I've always wondered why, particularly, I would say West Indian men, but more, I can't speak about all the West Indies because I've not been into all of, but I know Jamaican men per se
right,
uh, 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 don't like to express their feelings.
right, right,
You know,
right. And it's culturally. I mean,
yeah,
culturally, we know Jamaican men are supposed to be hardcore, tough, and so culturally we don't have that. And just to say something, where Mr. Gracie just said,
yeah,
he sent a message over to me saying, "Hey, man, tell that guy I love him." That's one of the things. Also, we
yeah,
men, especially Jamaican men, don't do. We
right.
don't say to our even our friends or say, "Hey, man, I love you." We don't do that. So that's big.
Yeah, so and I've um, do you find that that the younger men, those men that are the younger men, younger in age men, they are that has been changed. The approach has been changed. They can more express themselves than the older men. Like I'll say I don't want to date myself, but I'm kind of getting to that area. So why is it these younger men express themselves more than the older Jamaican men do?
So I mean, it has gotten better. The millennials, you can see in all facets of everything, they're looking to do things a little bit better or different than how we did it. Because with millennials, what they seen is how they may not, verbalize it, but they've seen and watched how
Mhm.
us as older people go do certain things, and they're like,
Yeah.
no, that's not for me, or I don't
Mhm.
want to do that. And so for them, they've seen a lot of people
Mhm.
not verbalize their feelings and all
Mhm.
that stuff, especially as men. And for them, they're like, no, we don't want to do that. I want to speak how I feel, and I want to tell you how I
Yeah.
feel. I want to show you my emotion. I want to be vulnerable,
Yeah.
and that's big. That's big. And I mean, I think us older men need to adapt and adapt from them, and saying, hey, you know what? I need to find ways how I can share how I feel.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make us soft, huh?
No, no
That
way, no
doesn't make
way
us
at
soft.
all.
Yeah.
Actually, makes us more stronger.
Mhm.
I find it where it makes us more stronger when we are able to communicate and share piece of us and be more vulnerable with others of how we feel and how we think and what's happening to us. It takes a lot of strength. It takes so much strength to
Mhm.
to because you're operating in a mindset of fear
Yeah.
that this person may take what I'm telling them and use it against me or whatever. But
Mhm.
you push past that fear of saying, what if this happened? But you're looking at saying, but what if I share my story and it's able to impact somebody else
Somebody
or
else.
help somebody else? So that's you're not weak. You're very strong for that. Very strong to share that.
Okay, so all right, so here I am, a older man, and I see what's going on in the society and so forth. Give me some pointers in helping me to, or just give me some beginning pointers in helping me to change that to be more forthcoming.
Right.
Okay, give me some pointers.
Hey, Pastor Shaw, you start with self. It starts with self understanding, shifting
Yeah,
the mindset, knowing that, okay, this is happening. You
yeah.
have to realize it, but
Mm,
also how can I verbalize it?
mm,
How can I verbalize it? You sit with self and figure out how do I want to actually one articulate this, show this, how do I want to verbalize it to
right.
somebody else,
Mhm.
and how do you want to show up as being vulnerable, You know what I mean? That's where you start at. You start with self, getting the mindset to say, okay, this is where I'm at. This is how I feel within myself, and then figure out how to verbalize that. Through a journal. Take a journal, write it out,
Okay, good.
get comfortable releasing it into the
Mhm,
journal, all that stuff, and then you probably can take a little time, little baby steps in terms of finding somebody to talk to, and
mhm.
just you don't want to go vomit and dump your whole on them, but you
Right.
just want to take your time and piece by piece, just you know
Mhm,
talk
mhm,
about where you are, talk about what's happening, all that stuff, and how you can share things mentally.
mhm.
And so yeah, and I think that's where you start at. You start within yourself.
Okay. All right. So, are there groups or organizations out there, or men clusters that are just coming together just to have men communicate with each other and break it down with each other, and I would say
Right,
come out,
right,
come out
right.
of the. Are there groups like that out there?
Yeah, I mean, they have a saying, so your vibe attract your tribe. I mean, where you go find the people where that you want to be around. Go find the people who those association in terms of seeing people being vulnerable and say, okay, this is my niche. Let me go in. You can even go in, you know, just go in simple, just go in and talk, or go in and just listen first,
Hmm.
first and foremost. And
Hmm.
then from there, you can actually go in and, you know,
Hmm.
take your time and release. But there are groups, there are so many groups out there, there are church groups,
Hmm.
there are so many groups I see online where guys or men are now being more vulnerable and sharing,
Hmm.
and that also makes people who are going through things
Hmm.
say, wow, he's strong, he's powerful, he's mighty, and he's sharing how he feels, then I could do that. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So sharing your story, does help others. But sharing it at a time when you want to, get within yourself again, get peace within in terms of get clarity in how you want to actually share it, what the story you want to tell, how you
Hmm.
want to articulate it, how you want to release it.
Hmm.
And I said, just don't go vomit on everybody. You know?
Right, right,
Yeah,
right, right. Hmm. All
yeah.
right. So I was thinking in terms of maybe there were some named organizations or some.
Right.
'Cause- mhm,
I mean, so it depends on where you are.
mhm,
I'm in Connecticut, and so there are a few here in Connecticut. I'm trying to remember. I know the Life Center.
mhm,
They do have a where you can actually go and talk.
mhm,
But look around in your area. Go to your local church. Go to different groups and see what's happening in
yeah.
those different groups. I'm lucky enough to have great. And for me, I have great friends who. So with me, it came. I have everybody have different set of friends, and two sets of friends,
Right,
and
right,
you are going to analyze, and for me, one set of friends were they're always talking about this, and then
right,
when you go to the other group, it's like a breath of fresh air, and then I'm like, why is it that? And so
right.
for me, I started thinking to myself, why is it am I attracted to this group when you know
Hmm.
this group is a breath of fresh air, but you have to actually just figure out how to way to tap yourself out of here and go over there. And
Hmm.
I have a saying: if the conversation is no longer of interest, where your group of friends hang around, and it's time to
Okay.
find and it's time to go to a different group.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you may be in a group and you may want to share how you feel and be vulnerable and open up, but that group is not
Mm.
that type of group. And then you sit there and you become frustrated and you hold on more and all that stuff. So, go find your tribe. Go find your tribe. You
Go,
know,
go. I love that. Go find the tribe. I
go find
love.
your tribe. Yeah.
Right. Okay, we're here in Jamaican Explosion this evening with Dr. Andel G. Green, and entrepreneur, speaker, and
Mhm.
coach. And also, this is a very interesting fact, recipient of the 100 Men of Color Awards. So you've been doing great work. Um, uh, were you always in Connecticut, or have you traveled around the country?
Yeah, no, I'm you know, my home base is Connecticut. You know, ever since I migrated, I came to Connecticut, and this is where I've been. But I do travel a lot, but
Mm.
this is where, yeah, this is roots. This is where I do things. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
where was this award presented, or was this
It's
or
it's an award ceremony that happens in Connecticut every year. I think when I last year was the 10th year anniversary of the award itself.
yeah?
So they do have both 100 men of color, and they have 100 women of color awards, and it's just an award for people who are, in the community, who does, pour into the community, give back, or whatever you do in the community. Those are the people who are nominated. I was nominated, and I got an award.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good. That's so good that we have groups that are recognizing men who are doing extraordinary things. So I commend you on that. So
Appreciate it.
I why are okay, and I'm going to ask you a past question now, and that's with men, because we find that the women groups that they're so together and put
Mhm.
tight,
Mhm.
and they would get up every morning and they are strong, so forth like that, and
Mhm.
we get a group of men. And we do good for about 2 3 weeks, and then it's
Yeah,
like we get bored with each other.
yeah, yeah.
Give me a little. What do you think leads
I
to that?
mean, so and just not groups are getting together. It's just with everything. Women are organizers. They're nurturers. They know how to come together and put things
Mhm.
together and plan. Take for instance my wife. She has her friends, and they are easily put together their groups, and they go
Yeah,
traveling and I can't get my guys to do that. We can't. First of all, we get to sit down, and then we're like, oh yeah, and then we say, all right, let's start planning, and then 2 weeks later it gone. It
yeah.
just went right out the door. And definitely, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it to say why men can't really come together and say, hey, let's do this, whatever. Um it's it's probably just, you know priorities in terms of where, what you want to do, and where, all that stuff. I mean, we like being together as men, but
Mhm.
then I think our priorities are just coming together, is just to just, and then go. you
Yeah.
know as women, they come together, they sit down, they plan, they say, they already have everything in motion, where they're going, what they're doing, or what they have planned. So um but it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress for us, man.
Doctor, something just came to my mind, because it seems like when we're concentrating on something else as men, we do a better job than concentrating on each other. If the Super Bowl game is on, men could get together. Well, you see, our focus is not even really on each other. We're just
No.
focusing on the game, and we're not
Yeah.
talking about each other's feelings. We're talking about what's going on the game. Oh, this is
Exactly.
now, and so forth like
Exactly.
that. So maybe we it's that we just need to block everything out
Right. Right.
around us,
Right.
and,
Right.
and, and get to the point where we're really concentrating on each other. I watch those women groups, or I listen to them in the morning time.
Right.
Well, and they're listening to each other,
Of course.
listening.
And you see, and we men think it. Don't get me wrong. We think it. We think that we do. We oftentimes think, and say, I wish we had somewhere we can, release and talk and share, because
Yeah,
we've gone through things, but where's the outlet?
yeah.
And for me, when I found it, when I have a group of friends, when I go sit with them and I hear, it took me a while to
Mhm.
open up, but I
Yeah.
hear, like, and I could connect and say, I'm going through that.
Hmm.
But he's speaking so freely to him, and he's
Hmm.
speaking so now I build up trust around them, because now I'm hearing them sharing things
Hmm.
that I'm thinking in my head that I'm going through, and
Hmm.
I'm able to express and go, oh, hey, what's your opinion? And they're giving me their opinion, and they're sharing their story. And so we became such good friends that we can actually share, hey man, I'm having a day, and
Yeah.
I can get poured into, what I
Hmm.
mean,
Yeah.
from these guys, and I can pour into them, and then we're like, all right, cool, and we're off again, we're off to the running. you know.
Okay. Nadine wasn't supposed to be in, but she has something in the chat, so she can't just leave us to talk. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to bring her back just for a second.
Sure,
Have to have a woman's perspective. Go ahead.
Ah,
sure.
I was so trying to be quiet here. I was saying, is it that men find it more challenging to connect emotionally, unlike
Yeah,
females?
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. It's hard to verbalize we think it, but it's hard to verbalize it. It's hard to express
Mm,
it to because you don't. The biggest thing for a man is that they don't want to seem or feel weak.
yeah.
They don't want to see or feel weak, and
Right.
so verbalizing how you feel may, and that's why I said go back to self. Go back to self in terms
Mm,
of saying, okay,
mm,
write it out, get a journal, write it out, then
mhm.
figure out how you want to express that. Figure out how you want to verbalize it because that's key where you got to go in and say, okay, if I say it like this or if I verbalize this like this, how does it come across? Because that's one of the biggest things for men. Men don't want to seem or feel weak. And
Right.
so because of that, expressing their feelings and their emotion is very hard.
Okay. So, okay, go ahead, Nadine. Go ahead.
Dr. Green, I wanted to get your opinion on it. You do have some men who are introverts, so they may not have that friend that they could talk to or reach out to. And some of them, they tend to drink or stuff like that. What inspiration or suggestion would you have for those persons so they can express themselves and not just bottle it up? Because sometimes they do take it out on their children, their families, and others because everything is all bottled up inside.
um, Nadine, so you're talking to an introvert, number one.
Really?
That's number one.
Mm,
Number two is I had to fight to get
mm,
over imposter syndrome
mm, mm.
because for me growing up, I was this big thinker. I think big. I'm the guy now who you would come to with your ideas and I take it to the 40-foot view. But before that, when I thought big, people used to say, "Boy, you think too big. Go and sit down. You think too big." So I thought that I was strange. I was weird. And listening to the doctor you guys spoke to, the engineer lady you spoke to, she had somebody who had her belief from the get go that she can express herself. For me, I thought that I was weird because nobody think as big as me. So what I did, I shrunk myself to
Mm,
everybody's standard.
mhm, mhm,
You know what I mean? And so how I got over that is one, I had to go within myself
mhm,
and I had to go back and show myself how much I love me.
mhm,
Okay. I had to do that. And I had to also realize that my thought process and everybody else is totally different. It's not, societal will actually limit you and tell you how to think and how to, but also you have to go within yourself and understand that you
mhm,
are everything that you or will ever be. You just got to go within yourself. You can't look outside for for the validation or all that stuff. And so you start within yourself, get to know yourself, start looking for me, um I I used to even have a mantra where I'll drive I drive my son to school every morning, and we
mhm.
have this mantra where whenever I start hitting my chest like this, we start singing, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, you know, because one of the biggest thing, I'll say this, one of the biggest thing is like people to ask me, hey, what do you work on or whatever. I don't work on my business. I don't work in my business. I don't work on my relationship. I work on me. You know why? Because when I am better,
Yeah.
everything around me become better. My
Yeah.
love life become
Right.
better. My business become better. My finances become better. So I work on me every single day. I get up in the morning, I look in the mirror and say, who would you become today if you don't quit? That's number one. And who would you become today if you actually become better than you were yesterday?
Mhm,
That's it. And so even on your career, your job or whatever, if you get in and say, I want to do this or I want to do this, my goal to do this is to stay consistent. That's working on yourself.
mhm,
So when you work on you, everything around you become better. But most people actually sit, forget, leave themselves out of it and then try to focus on something. And that's where we all go wrong.
Very good, very good, very good. I know that we're gonna have to bring you back so for us to continue, and I'm going to leave it on a good thought, a good point, which I want you to marinate on before you come back here. And I think you probably already have the answer. Is why do we Jamaican men or Caribbean men always say, "Daddy do it that way," and "Daddy never talk," so we use it as an excuse not to really own up to our feelings. So I don't want the answer on this show.
Right, right, right,
It's a
right,
cliffhanger. It's a cliffhanger for the
right, 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 right. Of course, of course. I
because
mean, listen, and I'll answer it on the other show, but
yeah,
as we talk about the title, it's the strength to breathe.
yes,
Find the strength, find that resilience within you.
mhm,
Find the resilience, find the strength within you to breathe, to become
mhm,
better, to become a better work on becoming a better you.
yes,
Everything else around you become better.
very
Thank
good.
you, Dr. Green. Well said. Thank you, Dr. Green. I'm sure the audience is just left hanging. We can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, yeah.
I appreciate you guys having me. And I should make one simple correction, as though my friend calls me Doc. I'm not a doctor, so
Okay. Well,
yeah. So
well,
my friends do call me Doc, but
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yes, okay.
you know,
It's just something that we do, and it's just
right.
basically because maybe the way you present yourself and your persona. Okay.
I appreciate you, Pastor Shaw and
Very
Nadine.
good.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
And I can't wait. And after we do a couple of the women session and a couple of the men session, we're
Right.
gonna bring the women and the men together.
Together. I
Okay.
appreciate that.
All
I
right.
appreciate that. I look
Okay.
forward to that.
Okay, sir. So thanks again, and thank you all for stopping in here at Jamaican Explosion this week. Tell a friend about us. Tell them that we are on every Saturday evening from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on YouTube or Facebook, or as they say, this bat station. Okay, so we want to thank you all for tuning in today, and we had a great show this evening. And Dr. Andel, I'm going to say that, Dr. Mr. Andel, we're looking forward to having you back again on another episode of The Strength to Breed. Okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Until we speak again,
Bye.
as we say around here on Jamaican Explosion, walk good.
Well,
Well, good.
good.
All right.
Okay, so Sister Nadine, that's it. I know we're going to have to sign off here in a couple of minutes, but it's been great this evening having you with us. And we're going to say goodbye to the folks. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Goodbye, goodbye, guys. Same time next week.
Okay, very good. So let's leave out of here right now. And it's great to have had you with us here this evening. And we'll see you next week.